Hello everyone, so this is the summary of the poem Dulce at Decorum Est by Wilfred Owen. So Dulce at Decorum Est is a poem written by Wilfred Owen at the time of First World War and published in 1920. The title is Latin, which is taken from Ode 3.2, Valor of the Roman poet Horace. The meaning of the title, Dulce at Decorum Est, followed by these lines, Pro Patria Mori, is how sweet and honorable it is to die for one's country. In this poem, poet condemns the brutality and horrors of wars. So come to the text of the poem. So poem starts with these lines: bent double like old beggars under sacks, knock-kneed, coughing like hags, we cursed through sludge, till on the haunting flares we turned our backs, and towards our distant rest began to trudge. Man must sleep, many had lost their boots, but limped on, bloodshot. All went lame, all blind, drunk with fatigue, deaf even to the hoods of gas shells dropping softly behind. So, when the poem opens, the speaker describes the poor and pathetic situation of the soldiers fighting in the wars. So, these soldiers are bent and they look like beggars under the weight of their weapons, and they are losing balance, coughing like poor old women, and struggling and moving slowly on the muddy ground. Okay, and they are also trying to hide themselves from the hunting lights of the enemies and are marching towards their camps. So they are returning back from the they are returning back to their camps from the battleground. So they are so tired and exhausted after fighting for so long that they look like as if they are sleeping even while walking, and many of these soldiers have lost their boots and are walking with bare and bleeding feet, and they also look like as if they are lame and blind because they are so exhausted and tired that there is no energy left in their bodies, and they are extremely exhausted like a drunken man, and they don't even pay attention to the poisonous gas shells being dropped behind their backs. Come to the next lines. Gas, gas, quick voice and ecstasy of fumbling, fitting the clumsy helmets just in time, but someone still was yelling out and stumbling and floundering like a man in fire or line. Dim through the misty panes and thick green light, as under a green sea I saw him droning. In all my dreams before my helpless sight, he plunges at me, guttering, choking, and droning. So, in these lines, poet is saying that someone of these soldiers warns them to move quickly to escape from the poisonous gas. And soldiers then wear their gas mask quickly. But what actually happens? One of these soldiers is not able to wear his mask and he's shouting. And he looks like as if he's caught in a fire and in a chemical which is used to blind people, and that soldier looks like as if he's getting drowned and covered in a green sea. Green sea here is poisonous gas, and the speaker is watching this soldier through his misty gas mask and the atmosphere which is full of poisonous gas. And this is like a dream which the speaker usually sees, in which he sees a soldier being suffocated and dying and moving towards him in pain and anguish. So after seeing the horrible situation of the soldier, the speaker is reminded of the dream which he usually watches, in which he sees a soldier being suffocated and dying. Come to the next lines. If in some smothering dreams you too could pace behind the wagon that we flung him in, and watch the white eyes writhing in his face, his hanging face like a devil sick of sin, if you could hear at every jolt the blood come gargling from the froth corrupted lungs, obscene as cancer, bitter as the curd of wine, incurable source of innocent tongues. So now poet is addressing the audience directly and saying that if people could see such a soldier's dead body lying in a wagon, okay, and his dead white eyes, his loose and disfigured face, and the blood coming out of his mouth from his ruined lungs at every breaker on the road. So the sight of the dead body of this soldier is so horrible and shocking like cancer, bitter and repulsive like incurable wounds suffered by any innocent person. And further speaker says that if people will happen to see such a pathetic sight of the dead body of soldier, then they won't say to their children with pride and enthusiasm, the children who are hungry for glory and heroism, so they won't say this old lie to them. And what is this old lie? Dulce et decorum est pro patria mori. What does it mean? That it is sweet and good to die for one's country. And here the poem ends.